Welcome to the Porch Podcast. Welcome to the Porch Podcast. It's your boy DJ E, Mr. Influential. And I'm rocking with my brother, man.
The original, baby. Welcome back, y'all.
Welcome back. Welcome
you know
back.
I'm saying? New week, new episode. We say each and every week you could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with us. And we appreciate you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Well, first off, before we kick things off, as our tradition goes, you know what I mean, brother? How's your week? How's your week been?
Long as I'm alive, it was good.
Okay.
Wasn't as busy as usual. I had no gig and nothing for the probably like first weekend. This weekend, last weekend, I ain't had no gig. Need a little break. Got some stuff to take care of in my personal life.
Glad you did that because I want to readjust myself.
You know what I mean?
Word.
But we could do all that. We can do all that shit live too, like this. Like, word is bond, word is bond.
Yeah. It's part of getting comfortable, settling in, ready for the show.
Yeah. Okay, so, but it was good, man. You know, I ain't got no complaints. You know, one day at a time, like always. Praise God.
Absolutely, no question.
You know, thank you for everything, Lord. I'm looking at the screen as if you watching because you are. You know what I mean? So,
question.
But I've been good, man. How about you?
Good, man. You know, like you said, favor. You know, blessed and highly favored. You know, at this point, like you said, bro, it's about as much peace as possible.
Right.
So, you know what I mean? If there's any way I can accumulate more peace, that's the main thing for me.
Right.
You know what I mean? You know, the weekend went by. I'm just trying to think it's, ripping and running. Got some things that I'm working on in terms of trying to do some upgrades and stuff like that, in the house and stuff. So, I've been in my creative mind in terms of those things. But other than that, man, no sense of complaining. Everything's been smooth, bro. Yeah.
Smooth with the roughness, just serving justice.
Where, absolutely. So, obviously, over the weekend, I had a lot of different things transpire. First off, before we kick things off too much, I want to, acknowledge the legendary singer Angie Stone, who passed in a motor vehicle accident situation.
On her way to perform.
Did not know where she was going.
Mm-hmm.
I just discovered that now.
Yeah. I think she was it was Mobile, Alabama. But they had a
I have a lot of details, but I know it's motor vehicle.
Yeah, but they was having what they call like a Mardi Gras celebration.
Okay.
And she was actually on her way to go perform.
Wow.
That's the report that I see, per the report that I see.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So that was tragic.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, we lose another beautiful voice.
Yeah. Young age, 63.
Yep, 63, soulful, obviously if you don't know her music, go look it up. Mm-hmm. But if you do know her music, in terms of what we talking about, what we just lost in terms of an amazing performer.
Funny you say. Let me just ask you this question: when you see a person that was in music, I know this happens to me maybe because of the way I love music.
Mm-hmm.
But when I see that they pass away, right as soon as I see it, one of their songs always pop in my head.
Yeah,
because I know which one pops in your head. Fans, I can't eat, I can't sleep anymore.
So,
or brother.
Well, no, mine, whatever. No more rain in this cloud.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But like you said, man, bruh, it's in terms of and I don't spend a lot of time in the conversation about it. Mm-hmm. A lot of people leaving, man.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And I'm just like, that's the part where. But I almost considered at one point today, like just moonwalking off of social media, right?
Yeah.
Because I got this thing where, as we were talking about last week, seeing this amazing video, kind of sent off some thoughts in my mind.
Right.
Young brother, I can't think of the name of his channel right now. It's on YouTube, but he made a video, and the concept of the situation was, he said, God created us to be creators, not consumers. Mm-hmm. And then I thought about it in terms of, like I said, my interaction with social media and not so much what I create, but what I actually consume, like we've been talking about for some time now. But then I realized in that moment, it was more or less just because of the fact that you consume, once again, so much.
Right.
And you get to a certain point where you start saying to yourself, I don't even want to, be around that situation.
Right.
But then, as a creator, because I had to focus on that as well, factor that into the equation.
Right.
I realized that I have to be there.
Right.
Because that's where I need to be able to, encourage and motivate,
like you said last week.
creativity.
You said that. You kind of said something like that last week. I don't remember your words verbatim.
Mm-hmm.
But when you was talking about going to where they're at.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you mentioned it.
Yeah.
And somewhere in the midst of the show, you know what I mean, last week,
Mm-hmm.
you mentioned that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the way you use it, I mean, I understand completely what you mean about moonwalking off.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why we take breaks from it. Actually, I just seen before I came here, I was looking at the news just briefly for a second. And it's a new app that they got come out called Touch the Grass.
Okay.
And you set it to certain apps or certain things
Mm-hmm.
that it locks these apps
Okay.
until you go outside and touch the grass.
Okay.
And when you touch the grass, you got to upload the picture that you touched the grass.
That's nice.
And then it unlocks the app.
That's cool.
For a certain amount of time.
That's dope. Called Touch the Grass?
Called Touch the Grass. I just seen it on the news today. I believe that's what it's called. I'm almost sure that's what it is.
Yeah, I mean,
because I
for you to
seen
say
it just
that-
briefly for a second, but I think it's called it. But the only problem is I looked at it and they wasn't talking about it so much on the news. But you know, it's people in anything, that's for you. It's just a reminder for you to say, okay, it's time for me to put this down a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But people gonna just keep a picture, certain pictures. They gonna go out there, touch the grass, take like 8 of them.
Mm-hmm.
Click, 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 click. So when it come out, I already got one. I ain't got to go outside.
No,
See what I'm
absolutely.
saying?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Unless the app do something like, let's say it do that to you, and it's actually nighttime, and you try to upload a picture you took earlier that day. Nah, dog, it's nighttime where you at. I know what time it is.
Yeah,
you got to go
yeah.
out there and touch the grass.
Yeah, yeah.
Listen, touch the grass. If y'all watching, if y'all ain't got that feature, gave you that one for free. Just send me the check, though. That's funny, y'all. Say, give me that for free. Just send me the check.
Yeah. So, I mean, anything to break the monotony, right? You know how they go all the time. Anything that breaks to break the monotony. And generally speaking, if you make it where somebody has to move to do something, they think about all those things, right? But we do have to have, like we talk about diets and stuff like that, there is a certain level of anything that you should consume.
Yeah.
That's it. I'm not going to sit up here and paint this picture like everything I looked at this weekend was negative, because it wasn't. Obviously, you know what I mean? We talk about Angie Stone. That's a sad thing, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But there's other things that transpired, that make you say, I need to be present here. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? If nothing else, to kind of counteract some of this. And, so didn't stay there long. Basically where I'm getting at with that situation, it was a moment, like I said, because I felt like, I had maybe probably overindulged, unfortunately, and it was too much negative that, I was consuming. Mm-hmm. But like you said, bro, we have to be vigilant in our efforts to identify the things that bother us and how it impacts us, and then turn around and make adjustments that's going to be, good for the mind.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, because what we put in, I was watching one of my, people I used to watch all the time when it came to Law of Attraction, which was the late, great Bob Proctor, not too long ago. And he really just so much mastered, like, the power of the subconscious.
Yeah.
That was his thing. Once he mastered that, that was it. Yeah. You got different people, man, that you see who master certain attributes.
Yeah.
But what's tied to them all the time is confidence.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Depending if you're doing something wrong or right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You confidently believe that you can do this.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
So like, that was part of my mindset, and like you said, speaking on the situation, like you said, we acknowledged the situation with Angie Stone. It was a big boxing event that took place over the weekend. Mm-hmm. I know you said you didn't really catch any of the fight, but I'm quite sure that you said you did catch some of the aftermath, people's post opinions about the situation. First and foremost, once again, the internet is vicious.
Yeah.
Right? And you got some comedians that's going to take full advantage of these situations. Bubba Dub said he felt like Tank was on nothing but straight Xanax.
Yeah. Oh,
you know what I mean? He zannied out, you know what I mean? And it was crazy because, on different shows and stuff like that, you hear people who are sharing their perspective of what they feel of the fight.
Right.
I want to bring that up because I want to say this, right? Because we talk about the power of the tongue and perception, right?
Perception is big.
Right? And being intentional. There's an expectation of Tank that he has built.
Absolutely.
Over the body of his career.
Yeah.
Right? And so, like one of the other fighters said, everybody have an off night. Your favorite boxer has had an off night. It may not actually turn out to be a lost night, but it was an off night. It was some things that they know that they could have done and should have done differently. And that's the thing about greatness. Greatness is something that even when it exists, it's still going to be questioned.
Yep.
Right? Even when it's like he's still who he is. He still has done all the amazing things that he's done. And it turns around and it becomes a situation where you look up and you be like, dang, you act like he lost.
Mm-hmm.
Because if he didn't destroy Roach, right? If he didn't convincingly win the fight, everybody feels not just so much that, Roach got robbed or whatever, it shouldn't have been a draw. Because like you said, you're getting mixed reviews. But there's a certain level that you have in terms of expectation for him because he is who he is.
Right.
Right? I'm not going to say I'm glad that happened. What I'm going to say is this. I'm glad it's an example.
Yeah.
That even in the midst of greatness, you're going to be questioned.
Yeah, all of them have. All the great ones, in my opinion, have that fight.
Yeah.
That make it that question.
Even though the result of what transpired isn't necessarily a loss, it's still questionable.
Yeah, it's a lesson. It's lessening the questions, and it makes him, it puts him, not saying that, I never looked at Tank as being cocky. I just always looked at him being confident.
Yeah.
And fighters got to have some form of,
let
me rephrase it, even if you want to say he cocky, but they got to have some form of a cockiness to them.
Yeah.
Because of the sport that they're in.
Yeah.
That's just how that goes.
It's big and physical, but it's big psyche too. It's
right.
a lot of psyche
It's
that
a
goes
lot,
into it.
Exactly. That's why everybody gets it from Muhammad Ali.
Absolutely. It's a lot of psyche that goes into it. You're right.
It's a lot of that. So we all see that. But everybody has that fight.
Yeah.
That gets you to look and say, that was close. Because let's go away. I mean, we talking about Tank and Roach because the fight just happened.
Yeah.
But when Earl Spence was getting ready to fight Bud, all I kept saying is, man, I don't know. That's all I kept saying.
Yeah.
Because I know what Earl Spence can do.
Yeah, styles makes fights.
Right.
That's always been the case. And what you saw style-wise between both the fighters, you said, I don't know.
I don't know.
There's a chance for this to be any kind of way.
So when Bud did what he did, I wasn't shocked.
Right.
Now, I'm not going to sit here because I ain't been watching boxing enough to say I knew Roach was going to be this great at the fight. But at this point in Tank's career, this is why they're making it a big deal because of the reputation that he built.
Absolutely.
You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
We all had it. Like, man, back in the day, you can't tell us that we didn't think nobody could beat Mike Tyson.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
We didn't think nobody beat, but Lennox convincingly beat him.
Yep.
Like, he beat him.
Yep.
When he lost to Buster Douglas, even though he wasn't trained how he was, we all feel like he was robbed with the mouthpiece and all that. But it was the same type of moment.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's like...
Yeah, Holyfield beat him.
Holyfield beat him, too. Oh, yeah, Holyfield convincingly beat him. Yeah.
Yep.
But him and Lennox Lewis is the two that stand out the most. But when he lost to Buster Douglas, again, we felt it's almost like how people were feeling with this fight. That was that first fight that put you in saying, damn, he could be beat. For example, Tarver.
Yep.
With Roy.
Yep.
We didn't see him coming to knock Roy out.
No. No.
If anybody, we was like, if anybody beat Roy, they got a chance, probably Bernard. We used to say that.
I just want to point this out to people that greatness still gets questioned.
I see where you're going with it.
And the greatest people have to be comfortable with the fact that every day is going to be a question about either when they're going to fail and not look great or when somebody's going to outdo them and become the next level of great.
Right.
So there's a certain level of psyche. The reason why we talk about that is because a lot of times we talk about, bro, people trying to live up to certain standards, right? Certain people being the measuring stick. Oh, this person is the greatest, man. So if I just exceed them and what they've accomplished, I automatically become the greatest of whatever situation is. And that there may be some validity to that to some degree. But even when you get there, there's a level of greatness that you're going to have to keep defending and keep moving towards to be able to continue to stay on that level.
You got to stay working.
Right.
That's the point that you make it. Even when before this fight happened, you know, they always show interviews and different things. So Tank was interviewing, and he said his dream fight would be Floyd. You know what I mean? Just to see. You know what I mean? He ain't saying like, but
just to see because
how he was the measuring stick at the time.
Right.
So it's just like if you sit back and you think about it, you know, the craziest thing, and we know this, but the craziest thing could have happened. I'm switching from sports. The year that AI crossed over Mike, let's just say Philly won the championship. They'd be like, he's the new legend. You see how he crossed over? But it doesn't take anything away from what Mike did.
Yep.
You get what I'm saying? Because you're going to lose eventually. Unless you get out after that. That's just how it is.
It's like I said, I think when you are great, if you really feel like can't nobody beat you in nothing, like you said, it's not cockiness or arrogance to some degree. It's confidence, right?
Right.
Even the most confident person can have a night that ain't the right night.
Yeah.
But so it always exists. And so a lot of times when you see somebody be like, oh man, you be like, fam, you know that existed every fight he fought.
Yeah.
Every situation, every Super Bowl that Tom Brady was in, every one of them, you understand what I'm saying? Like, nobody had us pegged to beat them the year that we beat them in the Super Bowl, the Patriots.
Nah, nobody.
So, I mean, like.
Every Super Bowl loss that Tom Brady had, nobody picked that to happen.
This is what I'm saying. So, when
everyone.
You know, like recently, even the one we just recently won.
Yeah.
Nobody saw those, that whooping that we put on them, not for lack of terms.
I did.
You know what I'm saying? But it was you and like maybe one other person in the world.
The Swami did. Because I was speaking on it.
Yeah.
And I didn't say y'all was going to whoop them like that, though.
Yeah. So, even that.
I said y'all was going to win, though.
If you look right now with the AFC, you did. Yeah, I said that. I told you was going to win.
Yeah.
The AFC, who the favorites is to win. They still look at Kansas City as they are the team that you still got to beat.
Yeah.
Even though they had a off night in the Super Bowl, they're still viewed that way. And the reason why it's like that is because their body of work has set them up to be viewed that way.
That's the point you're making. Just because you lose, it doesn't take away from what you did.
Yeah.
And like you said, Tank is being questioned about Roach having a great day.
So that's you know what I mean?
I'm not even going to say a great day, right?
Yeah.
Or a great fight.
Yeah.
Tank is being questioned for Roach to do what he trained to do.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Once again, he's still being questioned like you're saying. You're saying it the same way.
Right. And he executed.
About him having an opportunity to finish a fight with him. Right? Because in everybody else's mind, he didn't have a chance.
Right.
Roach didn't have a chance. The point in life is that every day that you get up and do something, bro, because we talk about it, you may have a bad moment. You ain't going to have a bad day. He had a moment where he looked at the situation, and immediately after the fight, he knew there were some things that he could have done differently. He said he was slow. There were some things I should have took more advantage of. I should have been a little bit more aggressive on certain things earlier. Now, this sounds funny coming from a person that usually goes in and executes, right? That's not what you usually hear from them because they usually go and execute and do what they do.
But what I respect about him because it was something that me and a friend of mine was talking about yesterday. It takes a lot for people to actually give themselves a self reflection. And he gave himself immediate self reflection on that fight because he's right. If he would have took advantage of certain things early, maybe it might have set the tone. Roach would be like, "Oh, I didn't know he was coming like that." You see what I'm saying? And it might have switched him. But because he realized he ain't do it well, as long as you gonna keep giving me this, I'm gonna take it.
Right.
And that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to capitalize off your opportunity.
Yeah, and then like you said, then like I said, just taking that off of them and putting it on us as, our day-to-day lives. There's a lot of things we go back and be like, yo, it was right there. I could have executed on this situation. It don't take away from your greatness. You didn't activate it. Yeah. I was only using them like how we do all the time to kind of catapult over to the next situation dealing with us as regular people on a regular daily basis. Mm-hmm. And then you find yourself having to explain, even though you super dope, you nasty.
Right.
Yeah, you got it done.
Yeah.
You didn't totally lose.
Yeah.
What happened? And you can break it down immediately. Tank could tell you immediately after the fight exactly what he didn't do.
Because when you're in the moment, you're reacting.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Because I sit there sometimes and review myself, and if I don't record myself and listen to it later.
Yeah.
I sit there sometimes.
I do a lot of that.
Yeah, sometimes because it's just because you don't be wanting to record certain things. Yeah. But I sit there and say to myself, I went this way because I thought this direction, but if I'd have went this way and could have went there, then I could have came back with this. You start thinking in your head like that. Because me and H do it all the time. Yo, we had a movie last night, but we missed a lot of records that they ain't even thinking about. We say it all the time.
To me, that's what make you next level.
Yeah, self-reflection.
Because the person who don't do it when they don't lose, now mind you, once again, Tank didn't lose.
No.
And for him, if you see where I'm going with it, immediately to say, that situation was there. I didn't. Immediately, what you going to do? I'm going to take me about 3-4 days, and I'm back in the gym next week.
You know what's crazy? And to even if you go off of boxing, I'm just use football.
Absolutely.
Right? Okay. Baker Mayfield.
Yeah.
Had one of the best seasons of his career.
Yeah.
Right. They said the difference was he started to do like a lot of stuff that Brady was doing and was coming in and watching a lot of film and saying, see, I could have did this and did that, did this, that.
Right.
And they said Kobe used to do the same thing. Mm-hmm. Kobe used to sit there and probably look at how many times somebody stopped him going left.
Yeah, you was talking about that before.
Yeah.
They call it, it's a certain kind of film that they give you.
And then he'll work on it.
Right.
Work on that and say, because they expect me to do this. And I do it. I do this. But if I add this, would I do that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
yeah.
LeBron was another one who they said will watch film and see and look at everybody and be like, I need him to go this way when I go this way. And that's why Shump said Ron was like, because they was asking him about the differences because he got to play with Melo and Bron.
Right.
And he used both examples. He was like, Melo won the purple. He said, I remember one time with the Knicks, boom, I bought him Melo double team. And we getting ready to go in the half, right? Mm-hmm. And he double teams, Melo pulls. I'm wide open. Yeah. He said, Melo, I was open. He was like, Shump. I know, man. Like to himself, like, I know. I kind of messed that up. Mm-hmm. LeBron, he said, LeBron would be like this. Shump, when I do this, if he do this, do that then. He said, you be in the middle of the game. He'd be like, Shump now. Put the ball right there. Mm-hmm. And everything he told you that the defense was going to do, he did it. Yeah. And he sees it. That's the same way when you seen Jalen Hurts this year. Mm-hmm. Him and Saquon, I used that Washington game. Mm-hmm. Look. Saquon look at whisper so they're almost like, man, did you see what I see? Yeah, we switching this up. Yeah. Touchdown.
Now that works well in that because all those things is like team sports.
That's it, bro.
So in boxing,
it's just you.
It's just you.
Yeah.
And you in that corner and unless you count your corner.
But not to cut your wisdom. What I'm making is Tank is just as much as a studier as those people. for him to be able to turn around and tell you exactly at the end of the fight that I could have did this.
I'll say this, right? Because we on the subject of greatness is still questioned, right? Not because it's not good, but because it don't look great all the time,
right?
Like I said, even if you took it out of the sports world, and you just look at yourself, like you know when you won, like when everything is clicking, and you know that you're making all the right decisions, you executing everything that you need to be taken care of, and everybody who's benefiting from the situation look like they're in the right positions. You knew it, and you knew it the whole time you was doing what you was doing. Just like when you know at the end of it, when you know that you half-assed it, for lack of terms, you know that.
That's what you call awareness, self-awareness.
Right.
Gary Vee used to talk about a lot. That's the very important, most important thing. Is self-awareness.
So self-awareness, that's a good one.
And then, but you only get that awareness from reflection.
That's the only way you're gonna get it.
So my point is that you make it, even when you're using an example that's saying that when we're in flow and we're knowing what we're doing and everything is going right, and you know that you're doing that only comes from you not cheating yourself.
Right.
To train. Like, for example, I talked about an app that they created called Touch the Grass.
Yeah.
And I told you already, it's gonna be somebody out here cheating, taking mad pictures of the grass when they gotta go outside.
Foolish. For
them to upload it. But you only
cheating yourself.
Right.
All right, so it's so funny the way it's presented. Everybody, when it first came out, initial response in those situations was Roach got cheated. Right? It shouldn't have been a decision. They felt like he won the fight. That's fine. I'm not. Who am I? I'm not one of the judges here to say that. I'm focusing, like me and you talking about, on the individual. Right? What do you do now? Right? If Roach fought his best fight and he came out with a draw, what does his psyche tell him that he has to do more of? Work. Because the response from the fight was Tank lost more than it was Roach just won, if you see what I'm saying. So if you in your mind feel like you did everything you could have did to be able to secure the W, but you lost, you got to have a different kind of mentality to say, well, wow, what do I need to do even better than that? Because that was super dope. Now, for the person like Tank, who's used to being great, he immediately can turn around and tell you, because he's focusing on what I need to do to be better. Well, Roach might be looking like he may be focused on, the judges didn't do it the right way, right? So how often do we do that as humans, right? Because you can have a person that's in your life, it could be your spouse, it could be your children, it could be anybody, that come up to you and say, yo, you okay? You're like, yeah, I'm cool. Why you ask that? And he'd be like, because you seem like you off today. Once again, we're talking about the ability to be able to be great on a regular basis. Like every day we should be shooting for greatness, like not goodness, not for mediocrity. And you turn around and be like, nah, I'm cool. All right, because I know you usually do this in this amount of time, but you really didn't do it like that today. I'm just making sure you cool. And then you realize that you didn't. You still got it done, but you realize that you didn't. So today you're not really moving at your highest level of expectation for yourself, let alone that person. It's what you do after that really makes you great, right? It's the response to you knowing that I didn't do everything that I could have done.
Right.
How many of us do that on a regular basis with our regular lives? It has nothing to do with a game, a fight, or none of that stuff. How many days have you went to bed at night and said, I didn't put it all out there on the field today?
I've done that.
Yeah. Tomorrow got to be better. Tomorrow got to be better. Yeah, we got through it. That wasn't my best.
I've done that because you got to live every day. See, people always say, live every day like it's your last. I can't always go with that saying.
Okay.
In life, you don't, if a person was getting ready to pass, they would probably say, I got to see everybody that I care about. I got to go see my kids. I got to see my wife. I got to see my father. Like, I got to go see my dad. I got to see grandma. I got to see, like, stuff like that. Aunts, uncles. Like, that's what really might be going through a person's head.
You're right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I got to see family.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because the reason why I say that is when certain things happen in life, when a person goes to the hospital or might be in a coma, when they come home, everybody come to see. I don't care if in a movie, they come to see them. Or if a person was down for a while, get locked up or whatever, When they come, everybody want to see them. They home. They going to see them. They happy. That's what happens because they ain't seen this person in so long that the first thing you want to see is connect. Now, if they knew this was the last day they was going to see the person, they probably would have did it the same way. That's just my opinion. Yeah. But the truth of the matter is, when you strive to be great every day,
that's right,
it becomes a natural thing.
I agree.
That's just what it is. It becomes a natural thing. And a lot of it is environment.
Yeah.
A lot of it is environment and things and all that. Like, just imagine, bro. Like, I tell people all the time, just imagine some people go to a place. They don't have to, but they choose to go to this place every day that drains their energy. And then wonder why they don't have any peace. Because environment is everything. You see what I'm saying? You're supposed to that's why when we're kids, no real responsibility but schoolwork.
That's right.
You ever notice you hang out with the people that you wanted to hang out with?
Absolutely.
You still do that now, but as a kid, because you like, we have fun. I sit over here. This is my homeboy because he got the football cards and I got them too. He play Madden or whatever. Whatever it was. He DJ, he rap, he do this. Whatever it is. That actually get you a little.
Go ahead, bro.
That's what I need to get now. I'm saying, I hear you listening, but I'm watching your whole face get red. That shit just ain't had me at peace right there for a minute. That's all I'm saying right there,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, but my point I'm making is they actually, you connect with these people, but people get up and start to go to work.
Right.
That's what happens in the adult life. You go to work and then you go somewhere that you can't stand sometimes. Not necessarily stand or can't stand, because if it's that bad, then leave. But you just notice that I don't fit in here anymore with this energy.
Even greatness is going to be questioned to the degree where you can't allow yourself to not take that challenge head on and do what you're supposed to do because of the fact that, you're viewed to be the greatest of something, in particular, right? So I'm not glad in the sense that the outcome was the way that it was, but it was a great example. Because I'm sitting up there and I'm watching the aftermath of it. They go and make videos. They talk to Floyd. Oh, Roach got robbed. Garcia, he got robbed. Shakur, he got robbed. You know what I mean? Or, maybe it wasn't that directly, but it was like in so many words, that didn't go the way it was supposed to go. And they may have had some disdain for Tank the entire time. They may be fly or whatever. But once again, even with them, as professional boxers and athletes, there was something they thought they were going to see. Now, it's not reducing him because, like I said, even record-wise, it wasn't a loss. But it's how he comes back from this.
Yeah.
That's going to tell the story.
Right.
Like anything else. Everybody like a comeback story. It's how he comes back from this situation. The stage is set. The standard has to be a knockout or an unquestionable victory.
But in every sport.
But does that make him greater if he does that the next time?
It just make him who he is, in my opinion. And what I mean by that, he's a great fighter, even if he would have lost.
That's the point I wanted to make.
he still was a great fighter.
That's the point I wanted to make.
That's all I'm making.
Greatness still comes with challenge.
Yeah, that's it.
That's
what makes you great. He had, what was Tank's record? 31 and 0 and 1 now, something like that?
I would have to look. It's easily probably in the 30s.
You know what I mean? I'm going to look that up. But my point is, what I'm saying to you is, it's people, man. We make things worse than what it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But, I think that, that's what life is about, right? Life is about people being critical.
Right.
Life is about people trying to find, unfortunately, some kind of flaws in people.
I just seen something. I ain't know that happened, but that's what's up.
Even with his explanation of what took place in the fight, I got my hair done a few days before that. So when I went in the corner, I was trying to get him to wipe my face off. He said he didn't know nothing about it if you took a knee that started to be a count, but everybody's like, Tank, you've been fighting too long to not know that rule, right? And what it was is, whatever it is in his mind that said that he wasn't in a good spot.
Right.
And so he did something to try to, stop whatever he was experiencing.
Right.
So there's going to be some critical questions that come into that. My thing is, once again, just to kind of bring that situation home, is that greatness is a situation that will always require you to self-reflect, you know what I mean, do deep dives on yourself on a regular basis, definitely more than mediocre people.
Right.
By all stretch of the imagination. You can't expect to be great without consistently pushing yourself.
Right.
Without being critical, without being very intentional in the things that you do. You know what I mean? Because everybody will watch what greatness does in response. People don't watch what goodness does. If you just good and you ain't great, don't nobody watch when you come back around and do something different. But greatness requires us to be able to have, you know what I mean, short-term memory in terms of what's taking place, be able to bounce back and be able to make adjustments that make us look, you know, larger than life.
He's 30-0-1.
Okay.
So, because they said he had 31 bouts. And what I was looking at already added. So that means, and Roach is 25-1-1.
Right.
So, you know what I mean?
Yep.
It's not like he's not a great fighter himself.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
he's great.
Yeah.
You know, he's great, but, you know, there's levels to greatness in some people's eyes.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Once again, it's what you do. It's what you do. He may not be if he's great, if greatness is in his mind, he's not satisfied with the draw.
Mm-mm.
Not because he feel like he was slighted and he should have got
the
the win, because he should even be looking for things that he could have done differently.
Because if he would have did anything different,
right,
he might have got the win.
Might have got the win.
Yeah.
And like you said, you know what I mean? It's funny because in that example, nobody lost, but everybody walked away from it feeling like they needed to be better.
Of course, because it was...
Ain't that something?
Because they didn't pick a winner.
Right. Mm-hmm. Ain't that something?
But here's what makes you even better. Because even when you win,
right,
and you still point out, I should have did this better.
Yeah.
That's what makes you great.
That's what I'm saying.
You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying.
Fangio.
Yeah.
Y'all was up.
Yeah.
He still was mad that they scored 22.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. He like y'all slacking. He got on them, but y'all let them score 22.
Absolutely.
But that's just his mentality.
That's it.
He's still happy that they won the Super Bowl.
That's not about being unhappy. Happy has nothing to do with greatness.
Right. Some people arguably put that defense now in the top 3 of all time. Some people say it was the best defense they ever seen in their life.
It was the one that we needed to have to get the victory. I'm cool with that, right? Mm-hmm. So my thing is this, though. Happiness has nothing to do. Okay. I'm not going to say it has nothing to do. Mm-hmm. Happiness is, to me, not one of the most important parts of greatness.
Right.
Most people, teams, any of those things that are great, always are looking for ways to improve.
As period.
Right? Always. So most of them are unsatisfied. They like to win. They like to be number one. They like to be victorious. But happiness, that's more in line with mediocrity. People just don't want to be the loser. But when you know you turned around and you did something and you exceeded your own expectations and you view yourself as great, I don't care what you do in life.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't even matter. And that's where you want to be. You can ask anybody, like we talked about, bro, when you, I don't know if it was you that said it. No. I told you in the conversation when the conversation came up about it being elite. And my nephew, AJ, he said, I bet you Lamar traded in both of those MVPs for a Super Bowl.
Right.
And the guy we was talking to said, yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah.
Because that's what greatness looks like.
Yeah.
It ain't about, in a team, an ultimate team sport, of me being viewed as the most valuable of anything, because guess what? As valuable as I was, I watched the champion.
I watched
somebody else go home with a Lombardi
up in there.
I watched that.
Mm-hmm.
So yay, I was great for the league. I was a valuable player for the league. But that's the difference in that situation. You know what I mean? So once again, the outcome of the fight, however you feel, you know what I mean, it was what it was. But if you pay attention, it was an excellent example of what greatness looks like, even when it's still great, but questioned. Mm-hmm. I just wanted to reiterate it again before I guess we get ready to get out of here. Shout out once again, man, and not shout out, just paying respect once again to the legendary Angie Stone. Mm-hmm. condolences go out to her family, loved ones, friends, and all those people.
Also,
we missed
Trenton's own DJ Bink. A lot of people called him Binky. Passed away the exact same way over the week in a car accident.
That's a shame. I don't know the brother.
Yeah,
but that's a shame.
It's a sad situation, you know. DJ community, we know him real well. You know what I mean?
No question. No question.
He was laid back. Good guy though. Great guy. Real laid back.
No question.
You know.
No question.
That shocked us all because again, you just never know. This is why you get up every day to be great. Not because you don't know if it's your last. It's just your standard. You should be. It should be your standard. Like he said, man. Listen, man. This is the Porch Podcast. Let's clap it up. Episode
196.
That's it. You know what I mean?
196.
196. I mean, y'all can hear us on all your favorite podcast and streaming sites, which is iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, Stitcher, anywhere. Audible, anywhere you listen.
Wherever you've been listening to it.
Right.
That's
Keep listening.
Absolutely.
Pete, tell them where they can see
us. You can see us each and every week right on our YouTube channel at the Porch Podcast. As I say each and every week, if you have not done so already, please do us a favor. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that notification bell so you know where the shows are dropping and any and all other content that we create. That way you'll be notified of whenever it comes out. As he says, and we say each and every week, you could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with us, and we appreciate you. This has been episode number 196 of the Porch Podcast. Thank y'all for tuning in and joining us. We look forward to seeing y'all on the next one. All right, family. Peace.
Who on the porch?
Let's go.